Since its inception in 1956, MDIS has come a long way. During the early days of rapid industrialization, the Supervisory and Management Training Association of Singapore, or SAMTAS, as it was known then, was established to improve industrial relations and train workers on job relations, industrial safety, and supervisory management skills. Today, MDIS is an award-winning not-for-profit private education institution dedicated to nurturing individuals to explore and maximize their true potential, as well as make a difference and create their own legacy in the world. With a long history behind us, we aspire to continue growing from strength to strength in providing diverse education programs that are knowledge and skills-based. These programs comprise preparatory courses, diploma, bachelor's degree, master's degree, and doctorate.
With the industry-relevant curriculum at MDIS, I feel ready for the business world. My dream is to have my own cafe business and hone my entrepreneurship skills.
Our vision is to become the choice for lifelong learning with global recognition. Our mission is to be an institution that maximizes the future readiness of individuals and organizations through globally recognized and competency-based programs. We are guided by our core values. We embrace lifelong learning. We strive for excellence in customer care. We offer ability-driven education and training. We take utmost responsibility in ensuring high-quality programs. We nurture talents for the new economy. MDIS embraces a culture of lifelong learning to nurture and maximize the potential of our stakeholders.
Get an overview of how the fashion industry works and look forward to get involved in a new stylish product range. I also want to apply my knowledge of various marketing strategies to appeal to the specific audience.
Refurbished at a cost of $120 million, the MDIS Integrated Campus at Sterling Road is well equipped with laboratories, studios, workshops, sports facilities, and a 15-story hostel. Believing in a wholesome learning environment, one will find that there are inspirational statues and quotes promoting family values and character building. With an industry-focused curriculum, we empower your future with future-ready skills and interdisciplinary learning. With 8 schools and over 10 disciplines, students may choose to undertake the program in line with their academic and professional aspirations. We work with renowned university partners from the United Kingdom and the United States of America to provide globally accredited education programs. At MDIS College, we offer preparatory courses for students looking to pursue their Singapore-Cambridge General Certificate of Education, Ordinary and Advanced Level, Cambridge International General Certificate of Secondary Education, IGCSE, an admission exercise for international students, AEIS. Students have access to a wide range of resources and facilities, guided by a dedicated team of lecturers and trainers.
I really like the learning environment and facilities within the campus. I do hope to be able to apply some of the knowledge to real-world scenarios at the workplace and to climb up the corporate ladder into senior management positions.
For those looking to embark on a mid-career change, the Management Development and Consultancy, MDC, offers training and consultancy services, both locally and internationally. MDC's wide range of well-designed programs and short courses are specially curated for business organizations and professionals with different training needs. With the acquisition of the Service Quality Center to the MDIS family, we have established our position as a premium provider of training solutions in the region. As part of MDIS's global strategy, MDIS's first overseas campus, MDIS Tashkent, opened in 2008 and has swiftly transformed into the first choice university in Uzbekistan. Our second overseas campus is College MDIS Malaysia, which commenced operations at City Square Johor Bahru in 2014. Our 30-acre, well-equipped campus is said to be one of the largest education institutes in EduCity at Iskandar. MDIS also announces our third overseas campuses in Dushanbe, capital of Tajikistan, partnering with the State Unitary Enterprise, Taj Invest, and the Ministry of Education and Science of the Republic of Tajikistan. Looking forward, MDIS's overseas campuses will continue to provide high-quality education as it continues its strong presence in Central Asia, Southeast Asia, and Asia Pacific. Over the years, MDIS's commitment to educational excellence has been recognized. This recognition attests to MDIS's steadfast dedication to excellence in service and quality standards, such as the EduTrust certification, which affirms the Institute's efforts in maintaining high quality and performance standards on key areas of management and provision of education services. Apart from providing quality education services, we believe in upholding the spirit of giving to the community. MDIS organizes various charity drives, such as blood donation and corporate social responsibility community projects. It is in MDIS's DNA to pay it forward by helping others.
I'm starting my 6-month internship at a premier country club soon. I can't wait to put my passion into work by serving my customers well.
MDIS's commitment to lifelong learning places each and every individual on a journey of infinite possibilities in an informative, dynamic, and innovative community. Facilities are designed for optimal learning experience to inspire the mind and engage the spirit.
I really enjoy the studio lessons here. I hope to be one of Singapore's top TV presenters in future.
Interest groups remain one of the popular mediums to engage students to venture and discover themselves outside the classroom. At MDIS, we equip you with more than just the knowledge and skills required to make a mark in your career. We empower your future and prepare you to break new grounds. Think success. Think MDIS.
Good afternoon and welcome to MDIS Virtual House or Open House. And indeed, it is wonderful to have you with us, and thank you for spending this afternoon with us. And I would like to share with you about the School of Psychology. But before I move on, let me just share with you a topic which is perhaps of interest to many people: mental health. You know, sometimes we think that mental health is a big issue whereby a lot of people look at it of skepticism, a lot of fear. And sometimes, in fact, when you talk about mental health or when people are suffering from mental health, you know, it is really a taboo topic. But is it really true? Well, let me show you some statistics. First of all, you know, in the year 2002-03, when we did a survey, the records show us that actually, in the year 2020, there were 13% of Singaporeans suffering from mental health. And when we talk about 2020, we are literally talking about, you know, after the COVID, and there were many people who reported this issue about how they're suffering in terms of mental issues. And this became a concern because suddenly there was high reports of people seeking mental health. And why is that so? Well, many of them attribute to the COVID, but I believe it is more than that. It is the fact that many of us are going through a time whereby we are not as resilient as in the past. And this will continue even in the year 2030. And that's why the projected numbers will be 70% 17%, perhaps it is a conservative number still, because we believe that many people still do not report and get help when they are facing mental issue. Now, who are the people that are suffering most? As you can see, age 18 to 29 are the biggest group of them. All right, the next chart tells you so. Okay, 18 to 29 years old, we have 25.3% of them suffering from mental health. 30 to 39, you have 20%. And then for those who are 60 and above, we have a 10.5%. And so if you can look at it, that means our youth, many of them are not managing. And if these are not addressed and they cannot find help, this will become a prolonged issue that will bring them into their old age. And as a Singapore, which is very small and have no resources, our human resources is the only natural resources that we have. And therefore, we find that the government is really very concerned, and that's why there were reports about a mental health issue that is going on in Singapore. So the schools, the institutions are encouraged to understand what are the issues that the youth are facing in mental health. And then we also have a widened community of help provided for those who are suffering. And this is where the government is also investing a lot in trying to educate, in trying to make more people who are trained in addressing all this mental health issue to become practitioners with clinical experience to help out and address this issue. And recently, we do have a report that our pre-analysis enhancement, many of them are also suffering from mental health. In fact, there was an increase from 6% to 11% from the year 2019 up to now. And that's why our Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Lawrence Wong, has also addressed this issue in Parliament. And this indicates the seriousness that we are facing as a small country. And we certainly need more help and more people to be trained in addressing and helping bringing intervention to the people who are suffering from mental health issues. Well, when we talk about our body, we also talk about our brain and how we function. Okay, if our brain and our mental health is not there, you affect the way we function. We will be not able to do the normal work, and we cannot adapt to challenges, we cannot adapt to stress, and that's where, in a sense, as a school, in the School of Psychology, can help to address this issue. Because in the School of Psychology at MDIS, we are training future psychologists. Let me show you some of our programs. Here you see a pathway whereby students from O-level or with higher NITEC, they can join our IFD program whereby they can be trained to become future psychologists. That is the first step. Of course, those with A-level, you can join a higher diploma, and then you can go straight after that into a bachelor degree. Within a year, you will be able to graduate with a bachelor in psychology, and if you do well, it's actually a direct honors. With that, you can also move on to the different pathway whereby you can take up a Master of Science in Health Psychology and Clinical Skills, or you can take up the Masters of Science in Psychological Science. As you can see, we provide avenues for anyone who's interested to become a psychologist to be trained, to be educated, and help you to fulfill your dream. When we talk about psychologists, sometimes we are not sure what it means to be psychologists. Well, as we can all see over here, actually psychologists, there are many types. Okay, I will just introduce 6 types to you. There are more than that, but I'll introduce 6 types to you. And usually when you talk about psychologists, there are a group of them who would deal with patients or clients personally in an individual setting, or you can work in organization or research. All right, let me just explain a little bit more. For example, first of all, it's about clinical psychology. As you look at this word clinical psychology, you will understand that people who study this program will actually learn how to assess the mental health of a person. They actually make assessment, they make diagnosis, all right, and then they will see what kind of mental issues that the people are suffering. For example, are the people going through anxiety disorder or depression that may even lead to suicide? So they will be the one who can assess with methods that are proven scientifically to how to accurately diagnose the state of the mental health of the person. And of course, they'll be trained to provide some form of interventions to help them to live a normal life. And then we have the educational psychology. Well, the word educational psychologist gives you a little understanding. It actually talks about how, as an educational psychology, you learn how the person can learn best. So for example, for a student aged at 5 years old as compared to 7 years old, how much should we input to them that will not cause too much stress? How can we bring our future generations of leaders to become more intellectual, more educated, and to be trained to the fullest, whereby they can become great and wonderful leaders? So education becomes very important, and how to provide that amount of knowledge. And this is where the education psychologists come in, including those who are mentally challenged. How can we help them? How can we provide education for them so that they can make a living for themselves, so that they can have some skills? So all this comes in the education psychology. Next, we have counseling psychologists. These are the psychologists that would look into the wellness of the individual, not just individual. It can be couple, it can be family, it can be group. Right? They provide intervention so that they can function normally. Now, people who are going through stress, depression, or anxiety, they may not be able to behave the way you expect them to behave normally. Their efficiency may drop. They may become more isolated. They may want to withdraw themselves, or they may not want to talk to people. And these are things that the counseling psychologists will be able to help them as they provide intervention to these people who are going through such sufferings. Then we can talk about industrial and organizational psychology. This, you don't usually work with individuals where you provide counseling or psychotherapy. In the industrial organizational psychology, you work in organization, maybe in the HR department, where you look at the efficiency of the company. Why are there conflicts? Why are there departments whereby they cannot work together? Or why is it that in this environment, the productivity keeps dropping? All right? We try to understand why are there a large absenteeism, how to get the people motivated, Okay. The industrial and organizational psychologists try to understand the situation in the organization and help the organization to improve so that the employee that are working there can be happier, okay, they can be more productive. Well, the other two will be forensic psychologists. These are the psychologists that will use their theories and expertise in the legal setting, right? Maybe they may end up working in the prison, whereby they will check on the criminals or the prisoners, whether they are ready for probation or whether the crime that they committed are intentional or it is not so, or they are suffering from some form of mental illness. So as a forensic psychologist, you may have to, usually you will produce reports to the court whereby the judges will look at it and give the fair judgment. Last but not least, social psychologists. Social psychologists, again, you don't work with individuals, but you actually understand how people behave in the group, how people behave when they are coming together, how groups are formed, and why people have such biasness or stereotyping about people. So in a social psychologist, they can use the knowledge to help to understand people behavior in the group. And probably we all know a person who is acting individually as compared to when they are in a group can be quite different. When they're in a group, they're more bold. And why is that so? Right. So these are things that a social psychologist will look at. In fact, when I look at social psychologists, they will also look into the areas whereby perhaps, how people can improve, for example, those who are gamers, who are designing games. Okay, how can we attract more people to come in to play, and what they should do, what kind of excitement they can provide, what kind of avatar they should design, the color, all these things. So all these things are part of things that a social psychologist can be involved in. So as you can see, as a psychologist, there are many, many areas that you can be involved in. In fact, as a psychologist, when you study the psychology, it is a very interesting subject because it is both an art and a science subject. A science subject because the theories, the interventions, the assessment that they use to diagnose a person or to understand the environment, the people's behavior, must be tested in terms of having evidence, empirical research. They must be they have to do a lot of things to come up with a theory to say how people behave. So it is a very science subject. But at the same time, it is also a very art subject because you need to learn to engage people. It's not just having the skills, but sometimes to look at a case whereby you see somebody and it is beyond your book. The person behaved very differently. So you need to be creative. You need to see beyond what you learn and have some form of intervention to help your client to improve the way they function. So the studies of psychology is actually very, very interesting, and I hoped that you would consider taking up this course in the Bachelor in Psychology and becomes a future psychologist. Thank you very much.